get along.
To keep moving.
With kids, shoes, haircuts, college tuition. But why should you pay to talk to them? At US Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
Come into US Cellular and get an ultra-sleek Kyocera strobe with Bluetooth technology for only $29.95. It's the perfect gift for graduation.
US Cellular connects with you.
At Applebee's, we're grillin' fresh with Chef Tyler Florence.
What goes great with grilled shrimp? How about crispy bacon, fresh avocado, Bibb lettuce, and a fork? That's why I created Applebee's new California shrimp salad.
Grilling fresh with Chef Tyler Florence, only at Applebee's.
It's the hottest deal of the summer. Free Brewers tickets. Just follow the ball to Applebee's, and when you buy any one of 5 select entrees, you'll get a voucher for a free ticket to a Brewers game. 1 entree, 1 free ticket voucher. 5 entrees, 5 free ticket vouchers. Follow the ball to Applebee's for free Milwaukee Brewers tickets. Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood.
Brewers Live, next on FSN Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on FSN Wisconsin is presented by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Miller Lite. 4-time winner of the World Beer Cup Gold, Miller Lite. Good call. Welcome back from the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Opening game of this 3-game series, the Brewers and the Twins. We're glad you're with us tonight. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Craig Cashon, and Carroll.
Dan O'Brien.
Dan O'Brien's here with us. Dan O'Brien's going to be the guest analyst on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because you'll be attending the graduation ceremonies of your daughter.
Yep, graduation on Father's Day. They decided that the high school wanted to have graduation ceremonies on Father's Day. So I appreciate the Brewers and FSN Wisconsin allowing me to enjoy that.
Jeff Jenkins hits a ringing line drive to center field, but Hunter is right there to make the catch. Like a cat, he jumped on it. Jenkins hit it well.
Hit it to the wrong guy, didn't he? Well, grand slam so far this year for the Brewers. April 16th. They've been spread out pretty well. 3 of them so far. And all of them have been pretty important, haven't they?
Now Halls against the Reds was late. And it brought the Brewers back. Jenkins put the Brewers on the board tonight. They were down 1-0 in that 4th when Jenkins went deep. That grand slam for Hall earlier this year was the first of his career. Jenkins has now hit 4 grand slams. How many grand slams on your register?
2. Didn't take me long to tell you that, did it?
It says right here, ask me how many grand slams I hit in my career.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Graffinino. I have a hard time getting Rock to actually talk about his career. So
I hit a grand slam against Frank Tanana in Texas.
When he was a hard thrower or
no,
a softie?
No. Come on. How old am I? Come on now. Don't mess around. And then I hit a grand slam as a member of the California Angels against the Brewers. Bill Wegman.
Was that in Milwaukee?
That was in Anaheim.
Council bats with Graffinino at first.
You know, the team that has hit the most grand slams in the National League coming into action, the Washington Nationals. Now, get this. They have 4 grand slams, the most in the National League, but they have the fewest home runs. So I guess they hit them when they need them.
That's just crazy.
41 home runs and 4 of them are grand slams.
You can find the Nationals in last place in the National League East. 29-37. But they're only 8 games back. You know, the Mets have lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
That division is tightened up. Not only the Phillies 2 back, but the Braves 2.5 back as well. Braves got swept here in Minnesota, and you think after getting swept they would be long gone to the Mets. But because New York has been on a big slide. Matter of fact, the Mets have only won 1 game in their last 10. That's what the East looks like right now.
Yeah.
A lot of leveling off in the big leagues.
I'll tell you one team that's got to be perspiring just a little bit. The Boston Red Sox.
They've dropped 2 in a row. Meanwhile, the Yankees have won 9 straight. 7.5 back.
They had a 14.5 game lead not too long ago.
Justin Morneau runs out of room as that one goes up about 6 rows. Not much foul territory here at the Metrodome. That buys Counsell another pitch. You look at all the divisions in baseball, and starting the day today, the Brewers had the second largest lead. Boston led 7.5 over the Yankees. This is starting the day, and the Brewers 5.5 over the Cubs. Cubs won earlier today. They beat the Padres. There's a hot grounder played by Morneau to second for 1 and return trip for a double play. Wow. That was a very nicely turned double play. Morneau to Punto, back to Morneau. 3-6-3 double play ball wipes out the inning for the Brewers. 3-batter inning.
With every step, it gets better. Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered 4 times for smoother flavor.
Bill Schroeder here with my good friend Alan Bell from Cedar Lake Sales.
Thanks, Bill. When Bill bought his boat from us, he was looking for a boat he could both use for fishing and fun with his family.
And I got it. And the best part about it was they didn't try and sell me something I didn't want.
At Cedar Lake Sales, we listen to what you really want in a boat. Whether you like to fish, water ski, or just have fun in the water, we have what you want at the price you're looking for.
No hard sell, and they'll find a boat that's right for you.
And that's the Cedar Lake Sales promise to you.
Cedar Lake Sales in West Bend.
There were 2 options. Change the road or change the SUV. Introducing the Acura MDX with super handling all-wheel drive. Technology takes it to a whole new place. Acura. Advance.
The retro look here in Minnesota with the old Brewers road uniform, the powder blue. Always was a good look. Well, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is the Goalpost Bar and Grill in Green Bay. If the Tavern Contact calls the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning at 902-4572, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Hope you're set up for a great Father's Day weekend. Baseball celebrating Father's Day all weekend with these great interleague rivalries. Second go around for the Brewers and the Twins as Vargas back on the mound working in his 6th inning. Vargas has given up the 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. That was the home run by Kubel last inning in the 5th, coming off a 10-pitch 5th inning. After that home run, he blew right through the Twins order, striking out his 4th of the ball game. Vargas has a walk on his line tonight. Brewers will send up Dave Bush tomorrow against Boof Bonser for the Twins as Mauer in the air to center field and Hall right there for the out, 1 away in the 6th.
And don't miss Retro Friday on June 22nd against the Kansas City Royals. All fans in attendance will get a 5-inch Mike Caldwell collectible bobblehead courtesy of American Family Insurance, Century Foods, and the Wisconsin Lottery. Call 414-902-4000 for tickets. Mike Caldwell, crafty lefty.
Kadire takes a strike from Vargas. Caldwell finished his career as a Brewer, didn't he?
Yep. One of the pitchers in the World Series. He was something.
Dropped a couple of 20-game winners tonight from the truck.
Yeah.
They got Teddy Higuera in there with the trivia question. Mike Caldwell. Caldwell won 22 games for the Brew Crew in 1978.
Didn't he have like 20 complete games that year? 20 something?
I could look that up for you.
How many?
1978?
Yeah.
23 complete games, 6 shutouts.
Not bad.
Wow. Good memory. Broken bat from Kadire. Ryan Braun, perfect throw. 2 outs in the inning. Isn't it interesting that when Braun gets a nice easy hop like that, just because you know the mentality of the Brewers and what they saw in spring training, there's just make a good throw, Ryan.
Yeah.
And when he makes a good throw, you feel so much better about what he's been able to do, because not only has he made the routine play for the most part, although he has an error tonight, but he's made the great play this year as well.
Yeah, last few games he's really started to make the tough plays, but you're not going to get too many bad hops on this stuff, this artificial surface. The nice thing about the artificial surface is that you don't get bad hops. You get the true bounces, but the bad thing is you got to play deep because the ball scoots through the infield a little bit, and that puts the pressure on the throw itself. You have to have a good arm to play on the artificial surface.
Morneau slices one into left field. It's got a chance. Jenkins back, and goodbye. Justin Morneau with his 19th home run of the year to the opposite field. And it's 6-3 Milwaukee. Second long ball that Vargas has given up.
And that's what makes him such a tough hitter. Take that ball to the opposite field. And in the first, throwing left. Boy, he's strong. Check it out. Watch his pitch. And watch how strong Morneau is. A pitch down in the zone. A nice, easy swing. Lets the ball get back on. Look at the extension. And he rides it on out of here to the opposite field. Off the bat, you knew it had a chance. And just makes it into the first row.
Twins make it a 3-run game, and now Torrey Hunter. Hunter singled his last time up with 2 strikes. An opposite field hit. Twins have 5 hits in this game, 2 of them home runs. They've been able to produce 3 runs on only 5 hits. One of those runs unearned against Vargas.
Brewers seem to be the only team they hit home runs against. I mean, 12th out of 14 teams in home runs in the American League. Was it 51 they had coming in? Not many. What's that, the 7th that they've hit against Milwaukee?
And Torrey Hunter had 2 of those home runs in that last series at Miller Park. He also drove in 7 runs in that series. He was the hitting star in that set last month in Milwaukee when the Twins took 2 out of 3 from the Crew. Ron Gardenhire doesn't see his ball club use the long ball very often, but they have done it tonight. Vargas trying to get through the 6th. Ned Yost would love him to get through the 7th, but already at 100 pitches. And as you see, the bullpen is quiet.
It's actually 6 home runs that the Twins have hit, not 7. Miscounted the first time.
Oh, Hunter had that grand slam in Milwaukee. Jeff Cirillo had a home run against the Brewers. And now 2 here tonight with Kubel and Morneau. Boy, Torrey Hunter with the home run swing right there at 3-1, and the count goes to 3-2.
It was right on it. Wow. Fouled it straight back. That was a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Actually, that was a 3-2 pitch.
Yeah.
Remember, he fouled off the 3-1.
Look at this. This pitch right down the middle.
And he knows he missed it. See what Vargas has in mind for him at 3-2. Vargas coming up to the end of his pitch limit. And he missed with it. Torrey Hunter draws the walk. Third time he's been on base tonight. And now Ned Yost makes the call to the bullpen. Brian Schaus, the left-hander, which would lead you to believe that the man Ned Yost wants the matchup with is Kubel, the left-handed hitter who is on deck.
And that's why Mike Maddox is going out there to give Schaus a little bit more of an opportunity to get loose. It doesn't take Brian long to get ready. But I would imagine if it comes down to it and Ned goes to the bullpen, they might go to the bench. Talking about the Twins, they do have some right-handers in that lineup. Lou Ford, a right-handed hitter that can play the outfield. So Schaus getting ready for Kugel, but he might not get a chance to face him.
Well, Vargas can make it easy on Ned right here if he can retire Redmond. Redmond drove in the first run of the game for the Twins in the second inning on an RBI groundout. Little roller out to third that scored Morneau. And now Hunter at first. Fouled off. Long run Graffinino. Strike one to Redmond.
Bullpen scattered as Graffy goes down and chase down that foul ball. Take you a little bit longer to get loose when you have to do that. Not too many bullpens in play anymore.
Mike Redmond, a 300 hitter this year. Came in at 304 with a home run and 18 RBIs. Now he's driven in 19 as you see Kubel, the lefty, on deck. Redmond has a 5-game hit streak going. Of course, Torrey Hunter had a 23-game hit streak earlier this year. Hunter takes off. And a shot foul out of play. Redmond was late on the fastball.
And he had it stolen. And Torrey Hunter knew it. I mean, he had a great jump. A decent lead, a nice jump. Look at that. He had front foot on that artificial surface. There's no chance for Johnny Estrada, but Redmond had a pretty good pitch to hit.
A run is in on a Morneau home run. 6-3, the Brewers lead it here in the 6th inning. We've seen 3 home runs in this game. The big one was Jenkins' grand slam in the 4th. Long look from Vargas. The 0-2. 1-2.
Torrey Hunter is getting his front foot well on that artificial turf, and when you do that, you know you have a pretty good sized lead. You don't expect Redmond to hit home runs, so Torrey's trying to get into scoring position.
And a strike called on the outside corner. Vargas hits the spot. Redmond is barking at Brian O'Nora, who's giving it right back. Big out to get for Claudio Vargas. He bends a little but doesn't break. Twins get another on the board as Morneau with his 19th of the year, and it's a 3-run game as we go to the 7th.
Brewers Live, next on FSN Wisconsin.
Join Jeff Suppan and Northwestern Mutual in the Brewers Drive for Charity. Bring non-perishable food donations to Miller Park from June 22nd through the 24th. Each fan that makes a donation will receive a Suppan collectible Brewers pin. Drop-off points will be located at the gate entrances through the 2nd inning. Call 414-902-4000 for complete details.
The most dangerous men on the planet most intense sport on television. Pride Fighting Championships on FSN. Mauricio Shogun Hua clashes with the Demolition Man, Alistair Overeem. Plus, it's a showdown of Pride's elite as former middleweight champion Vanderlei Silva battles Mirko Krokop. Sunday on FSN.
Brewers fans, join FSN Wisconsin for Walk-Off Wednesdays, every Wednesday home game throughout the Brewers season. And you can win an autographed baseball bat. All you do is purchase your favorite Brewers player t-shirt at the Fan Zone. If your player hits a walk-off home run that night, you win an autographed baseball bat from your favorite Brewers player. Visit the Fan Zone store at Miller Park, located at the field level for more details. Walk-Off Wednesdays, welcomed by FSN Wisconsin. Every Wednesday home game throughout the Brewers season. You're watching FSN Wisconsin.
Greg Kashan back here at the Metrodome, 6-3 as we go to the top of the 7th inning now as Corey Hart leads off for Milwaukee. We saw Morneau hit the home run to get the Twins within 6-3. A lot of respect between these two first basemen. Here's Prince Fielder.
It's like, you know, the guys I look up to, like Mo Vaughn and, you know, Frank Thomas. He's like one of those guys to me. He's, you know, he's like the same type of player, if not better, because of his power as well as his, you know, he's just able to hit. I mean, to hit 330 like I believe he did last year and have that much power is kind of, it's hard to do because, you know, like, you know, as, you know, power guys, you know, they don't try to come in there all that often. So to hit for a high average, you know, also is just pretty incredible.
You know, it's interesting. We had the Twins general manager Terry Ryan on our Brewers Live pregame show, and he seemed very jealous of all the Brewers' power. But of course, we saw what Monroe was able to do. And Rock, you made a very good point where he took that pitch down low and away, driving it the other way. This club will surprise you every now and again, but this kid's packed with power.
Yes, he is.
Castillo, no chance to get Hardy. An impressive play just to get to the baseball.
Now, just to finish it up, the fact that, you know, where you have to pitch Justin Morneau, just like Prince Fielder, is in. But if you make a mistake in there, they're going to hit him a country mile. And you can see both of these guys, you know, sitting pretty in the Major League home run race. Alex Rodriguez with 25. Gary Sheffield with the Tigers. The Brewers just left them. Having a good start to the season. But I guess the future of the game, the power game, in good hands with Prince Fielder and Justin Morneau.
MVP candidates. And of course, Morneau, the reigning MVP. Fielder is having quite the MVP type season with 23 home runs. He is just 5 shy of his total from last year. Fielder in there is the designated hitter in this one tonight. Ryan Braun, a big rip at Ortiz, and it's quickly 0-2 on Braun.
And the thing that most people don't appreciate about Justin Morneau is that he is a very good first baseman. We saw that earlier, and he turned that 3-6-3 double play. He's got good range, soft hands, and he has a good throwing arm.
Remember Justin Morneau playing a good part of this season with a broken nose. Earlier in the year, he took a throw from Nick Punto that took a bounce right at the seam there between the dirt and the turf, and it bounced up, hit him in the nose, and broke it. But he continued to play. Didn't affect him hardly at all. Braun lays off another tough pitch.
Well, he used to be a hockey player. I mean, that's stuff that happens all the time in hockey, isn't it?
Canadian guy, you know, he's tough.
Yeah, Canadian hockey player. Pucks, sticks in the nose. Never slows him down.
He grew up idolizing Larry Walker, who is the only other Canadian to win the MVP award. Braun pops this one up. Second time he's popped up in the infield. And Morneau hauls it in.
Yeah, Morneau and Corey Koski, very good friends.
Saw Corey Koski at the ballpark tonight.
Good to see him.
Well, he's still not anywhere near being ready to resume baseball activities, post-concussion syndrome, and living here in Minnesota. And he was at the ballpark, and I think it was just good for the club to see him once again.
Yeah.
He's getting looked at by the trainers. And
Rick Helling was down around the batting cage today.
I saw Rick.
Pitcher for the Brewers last year.
Fielder puts a charge into this one to right center field. Hunter going back. And Prince Fielder goes downtown. A 2-run home run. Number 24 of the year. And the Brewers tack 2 more on the board. It's 8-3.
Well, Prince saying, Justin Morneau, if you can do it, I can do it better. That was a bomb out there to right center. All right, check this out. You talk about just flat out power. A pitch out away from, he stays back on it and just rips it. I mean, well out of here to right center. And that gives the Brewers a 5-run lead. That 5-run lead back. It was 6-1, now 8-3.
Twins get a solo home run from Morneau in the 6th, and the Brewers answer with a Fielder 2-run shot in the 7th. Well, the Brewers are swinging the bats here tonight. That is their 10th hit of the ball game, and producing 8 runs on those 10 hits. Francisco Cordero, he's glad to see the offensive support here tonight as Hall rolls to second. And the side retired, but not before Prince strikes once again. Fielder with his 2nd hit of the ball game and his 24th home run of the season.
G2 suits for $150 event is on. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 2 selected men's suits for just $150. That's less than the price of one at a department store. K&G Fashion Superstore.
Ever wonder what it's like to be a pro baseball player? Potawatomi Bingo Casino gives you your chance to be treated like a major leaguer. Register to win one of 8 trips to Brewers Fantasy Camp. Log on to www.paysbig.com for rules and information. Watch the games this season and enter the final score at paysbig.com. Drawings held on June 30th and August 30th with 4 winners selected each night. Get complete details at www.paysbig.com.
Week after week, you've had chicken, and chicken. No wonder you've come down with flavor amnesia. Think back to the last time you had a juicy Johnsonville brat. Remember how they sizzled on the grill and that flavor? Oh, that juicy Johnsonville flavor. It's all coming back.
Honey.
Memories are great.
Honey.
But there's nothing like the real thing.
Nice. I know.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
The K&G 2 suits for $150 event is on. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 2 selected men's suits for just $150. That's less than the price of one at a department store. K&G Fashion Superstore.
Menards game reset. First game of the 3-game set. Brewers Twins. And a quick strike for the crew. Jeff Jenkins, a grand slam home run in the 4th inning. Made it a 4-1 ball game. And then Billy Hall delivered with a 2-out, 2 RBI double down the left field line. That made it 6-1 at the time. And then Fielder, after the Morneau home run in the 6th, responds with a 2-run blast in the top of the 7th inning. Fielder, his 24th home run of the year, now has 53 runs batted in, and he might be settling into that DH role a little bit.
Better not for very long.
Just until we're done with the American League.
We got Kansas City back at home, and then that's it.
Ryan Schaus on to work for the Brewers. Vargas is done after 6 innings and in line for his 5th win. Schaus facing Jason Kubel. And then he'll have Luis Rodriguez, a switch hitter, and then Nick Punto, another switch hitter. Well, on a night when Ned Yost needed Vargas to go at least into the 6th, he comes through for him.
And he pitched very well. You know, that 1 inning that it is able to get, you know, in relief, you know, picking up that save in Texas probably helped him out because the layoff wasn't as long as it would have been. That was pretty much the same situation right before his first start of the year, where he pitched against the Florida Marlins and struck out 9 guys. Hadn't made a start, but pitched in relief.
And it was a relief outing for Vargas that had a little purpose. You know, it it had something to it. It wasn't like a blowout game where you come in and get a token inning. I mean, he had to come on and get a save in that game.
It's not one of those situations where you just get your pitch count up and get comfortable out on the mound.
Brian Schaus strikes out the lefty Kubel and picks up right where Vargas left off. 6 strikeouts for the Brewer pitchers tonight.
Now what that home run did, it allowed Ned Yost to leave Schaus in for an entire inning and not worry too much about the lefty righty matchup, and that'll save the bullpen for a little bit. In a 5-run inning, you might put Sperling in there. You might have the ability to keep Wise and Turnbow out of the ball game if it stays like this. But if it was a 3-run game, that wouldn't be the case.
A couple of switch hitters coming up for the Twins in Rodriguez and Punto. Third day in a row Schaus has been used. Actually 3 out of 4. Schaus was a little shaky his first time out, but remember, he didn't pitch in a week.
And he can pitch a lot too.
That one hit the bull. Wonder what Euchre's call on that pitch was.
Just a bit outside.
He's just mowing down a canister of popcorn. Jim Powell on the call right now. One hopper to Counsell. And Rodriguez is retired. 2 up, 2 down for Brian Schaus. Schaus won a third of an inning yesterday in that final game of the Tigers series. And a third of an inning on the 13th, the day before that. What day is this anyway, Bill? Friday?
Yeah. This is Friday the 15th.
So that would have been Wednesday.
Friday the 15th.
That's payday, right?
For most people.
Ryan Braun with a nice play. So the young third baseman showing some defensive skills in this game in a 3 up, 3 down inning for Brian Schaus. Brewers are rolling right now. 8-3 as we head to the 8th.
Twins. The rivalry continues tomorrow on FSN Wisconsin.
Boum, quand notre cœur fait boum, tout avec lui dit boum, et c'est l'amour qui s'éveille. Boum, il chante Loving Bloom, au rythme de ce boum, quand notre cœur fait boum, 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 c'est notre boum.
Menards is where you'll find quality products to improve your home. Aluminum soffit and fascia is low maintenance, available in 13 colors, and never needs painting. A 12-inch overhang is only $227 a linear foot. Cool your air conditioning bill off with ventilation from Menards. This roof mount vent and this gable mount help prevent damaging heat and moisture from building up in your attic. Your choice, $39.99 each. And don't forget Father's Day. From grills to tools, find the perfect gift. Or if you can't decide, give him a Menards gift card.
Save big money at Menards.
Today we're talking bolts with Ford's resident expert, Paul. You might say he's nuts about bolts. Paul, these mounting bolts hold the leaf springs in place. Technically, what's the difference?
The Ford bolt's bigger and stronger, Mike.
Well, there it is. Bigger, stronger bolts. One more reason why F-150 is the strongest pickup in its class.
Get into an F-150 with 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, get a tow and go package at no extra charge.
Brewers Live, next on FSN Wisconsin.
8-3, the Brewers lead the Twins, and Johnny Estrada leading off against Ramon Ortiz. Ortiz, the second pitcher used by Ron Gardenhire. After Scott Baker went 4 2/3, the Brewers chased him. Johnny Estrada rips one to right, a base hit. And the hits keep coming for the Brew Crew. Number 11 of the ball game.
Hey fans, win a party at Miller Park for 100 of your closest friends. Enter at Piggly Wiggly before June 30th. For a chance to win a tailgate party, including food, beverage, and game tickets, Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. Do you have 100 friends?
No.
Well, you would if you won that. It's a good deal.
Kids and all. Jeff Jenkins.
You'd find out friends that you didn't know you had.
It's kind of getting that way, you know, with the Brewers and all. Brewers are playing that winning baseball. Whole neighborhood's coming out. Big Brewer fans now. It's good to see.
Yeah.
It's great to see Miller Park full on just about a nightly basis.
And it's good to see when the Brewers go on the road. A lot of Brewer garb, a lot of jerseys and T-shirts and hats. And hadn't been that way for a long time. Starting to happen again.
You know who's here tonight? John Gescheidmeyer.
Good friend of mine.
The security, does security for the Brewers. He's also on the Glendale Police Department. He's here at the ballpark. He's got 10 friends with him, I think.
10 buddies.
So he might be a candidate. First game of a 3-game set, then the Brewers finally return home. After 9 games in 10 days on the road, back at Miller Park on Monday to see Barry Bonds and the Giants. I'm interested to see the reaction from Brewers fans when Barry Bonds steps up to the plate for the first time.
Yeah.
By the way, the Giants sending up 3 of their best on the mound against the Crew. Noah Lowry will start that series. And then the fabulous rookie Tim Lincecum. I don't know if you had a chance to see Lincecum pitch at all, but this kid is for real.
Got good stuff.
We saw him in spring training. The Brewers touched him up pretty good. And his ERA is over 5, but he has big potential. And then Barry Zito on Wednesday. Zito coming off a rough outing tonight against Boston. There's a base hit by Jenkins to right. And a 3-hit game for Jenkins, and Estrada feeling fast all the way to third. Told you he likes his turf.
You said he was feeling pretty fast tonight. He was running on the pitch, and Jenkins hit a bullet into right. And with that great arm out in right field for Michael Kadire, who's got 14 outfield assists. Able to get into third base. So first and third, nobody out for the Brew Crew. They're not done yet.
How about Jeff Jenkins tonight? 3 hits and 4 at-bats, and the only time the Twins retired him was that rocket he hit to Torrey Hunter in the 6th inning. After that no-hitter that Justin Verlander twirled up against the Brewers, Ned Yost called his veterans together before the next game, and he made sure that they took a leadership role in a situation like that. As Graffinino rolls one in front, they'll try it second, and Jenkins is out, failed to slide, and they get the lead out at second base. And really what Ned's saying is, all right guys, this is a spot where these young players need some leadership, and they responded. Guys like Jeff Jenkins and Graffinino, Counsell.
Well, not just leadership in the clubhouse, leadership on the field. Let's get going and take the pressure off the young kids. Take the pressure off Corey Hart. You know, J.J. Hardy, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, those kind of guys. They were carrying the club for a while. They were scoring the runs, although they weren't winning much. But since that time, they responded pretty well. Well, they started to respond back in Texas. Even before that.
Yeah, remember the Brewers, the game before the no-hitter, put 22 hits on the board. That was Sunday in Texas. They got no hit on Tuesday, and then they put 11 hits on the board against the Tigers in that big Game 2 win of that series when Villanueva had to make the emergency start. And now a chance for the Crew to win their 3rd straight.
That was an outstanding win of that series in Detroit. I mean, you talk about a team that's been playing some pretty good baseball, scoring a lot of runs. Pitching staff for the Brewers really did win that series. They gave up 11 runs is all in 3 games.
Counsell bounce one into center field. Estrada will score, and it's 9-3 Brewers as Counsell comes up with his first hit of the ball game and an RBI.
Well, it's great Counsell to hit that bullet to Justin Morneau that turned into a double play. So he's hit the ball hard a couple of times, actually 3. He lined out to right. So finally able to get into the hit parade and gets an RBI.
Now, just like pitching coaches keep quality innings, batting coaches keep quality at bats. And Counsell has 3 of them tonight. Sometimes that matters more than the stats. And just like when Billy Hall was in that stretch where he kept hitting line drive outs. He knew he was swinging the bat well and he didn't get frustrated. Hits started to fall, and all of a sudden Billy Hall put a string together. His hard rolls to short. They get the lead out at second base, but a run comes in for the Brewers as Graffinino scores and Corey Hart has an RBI.
You know, the problem that you have when you're swinging the bat well and you're lining out, you have a tendency the next time up to try to do a little bit more. You try and hit the ball harder. You just miss one, you hit the warning track. Next time up, you press a little bit. If that stuff happens over and over again, all of a sudden, just because those balls aren't falling and you're hitting the ball well and you have a good approach, you have a tendency to, get out of your game because you're not getting hits. But it's the good hitters that don't let that bother them. They know that sooner or later they're going to start falling.
And if you're a young player out there, if you're playing baseball or softball or really any sport, if you're watching this game, the worst thing you can do in a spot like that is to start going through the numbers in your head. Well, if I go 4 for my next 6, I'll be back to this. Or if I go 10 for my next 20. And I speak from experience.
Yeah, me too.
That seemed like I was doing that all the time in high school and college. Hardy flies out to right. There's no way to think. The Brewers certainly not thinking that way tonight. 10 runs on 13 hits.
Here's to the light beer that wins award after award, year after year. The original and still the greatest, Miller Lite. Good call.
This season, FSN Wisconsin is your #1 network for Brewers baseball. Bringing you more HD broadcasts of the Brew Crew than ever before.
How about that?
Get a crystal clear view of the action. From the first pitch
swing and a miss
to the game-winning hit.
Come on!
And everything in between. All in the brilliant quality only high definition can deliver. Brewers baseball in HD on your home for the Brew Crew, FSN Wisconsin.
Yes! Yeah, baby! Look at that one, it's good! All right! Yeah! That's it!
$500,000 champion. You're watching FSN Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on FSN Wisconsin is presented by your local Toyota dealer, moving you forward. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Brewers Baseball Club. Brian Schaus back on the mound for the Crew, as Ned Yost extending his normally short-lived reliever. Schaus 1-2-3 through the 7th inning, but has Castillo, the switch hitter, leading off here, and then the lefty Maurer coming up next.
Yeah, Kadire, then a left-hander Morneau.
Little roller back to Schaus, and 4 straight retired by Brian Schaus.
This is how you save your bullpen right here. Your offense can save your bullpen a lot of times. You get good 6 quality innings out of Claudio Vargas. You get a guy out there in Brian Schaus that ordinarily is in there for You know, 1 or 2 hitters, but with a 7-run lead, you throw them 2 innings.
Jenkins a big part of it tonight. Had the grand slam home run, 3 hits.
Not just the starting pitcher that saves the bullpen, the offense.
They have given Ned Yost plenty to work with in this game. 10 runs on 13 hits. I mean, the Brewers have been swinging the bats pretty well on this road trip.
Yeah.
Except for the no-hitter.
Yeah.
They didn't have any hits that night, Bill.
Take that one away. That's a mulligan. Forget it. I don't think too many teams are going to hit that guy that night.
Oh, man. Justin Verlander. Second no-hitter of the year in the big leagues. And the guy who threw the other no-hitter, Mark Burley, is being heavily talked about in the trade circles right now.
Yeah. A lot of interest. It's getting to be that time of year. I mean, you know, the trading deadline at the end of July.
Hot shot right back at Schaus. Bryant picks it clean and throws out Mauer. 2 up, 2 down for Schaus in the 8th.
Schaus gets himself in pretty good position to field. That's a good thing. That one might have hit him right in the face. They're able to grab it and throw him out. Now for only $25, get a Brewers Astros ticket for June 25th through the 27th. A general admission Summerfest ticket, a special edition t-shirt, and more. Call 902-4000 or visit the box office today.
5 in a row retired by Schaus as he faces Kadire. Ten to 3, Brewers lead it. Brewers got 4 runs in the 4th on the Jenkins grand slam. Tacked on a couple in the 5th. Billy Hall's 2-out, 2 RBI double. 2 in the 7th and then 2 in the 8th. Prince Fielder hit a 2-run home run in that 7th inning. Number 24 of the year for Prince. And he is fast approaching Albert Pujols in the all-star voting of the National League for first baseman.
Albert with a down season has not been, you know, hitting the home runs. He's got the RBIs, hitting around 300. But it hasn't been an Albert Pujols type season, at least not yet. Last I looked, he was hitting about 299. That was about 8 home runs.
It would be tough to unseat Pujols, not only the great bat, but also the Gold Glover. But Fielder is making his way to the highlights every night, it seems, and you're expecting a home run every night from Prince. Off the glove of Schaus. Counsel just in time, so Brian Schaus a part of all 3 groundouts in that inning. A 1-3, a 1-3, and a 1-4-3. And a 3 up, 3 down inning, and you'll see Prince hit when we come back.
Twins. The rivalry continues tomorrow on FSN Wisconsin.
Before I forget, here your bills. Bills? For what? Calling me on my cell phone. $8.50. Did I ask to hear about your lady problems? $23. Trust me, the only one who wants to hear about your golf game is you.
Why pay for calls you didn't make? Switch to U.S. Cellular.
Right now, get unlimited local call me minutes so there's no charge for incoming calls. U.S. Cellular. We connect with you.
Quality wireless service from U.S. Cellular. Go wireless.
Week after week, you've had chicken, and chicken. No wonder you've come down with flavor amnesia. Think back to the last time you had a juicy Johnsonville brat. Remember how they sizzled on the grill and that flavor? Oh, that juicy Johnsonville flavor. It's all coming back.
Honey.
Memories are great.
Honey.
But there's nothing like the real thing.
Nice. I know.
Flavor up with Johnsonville brats.
This week on the IFL.
Marco Ruas and his Southern California Condors look to dominate the always dangerous San Jose Razor Claws. The International Fight League, tonight on FSN.
And welcome back to the Metrodome. Top of the ninth, the Brewers 10-3, 13 hits in this ball game. Just a reminder, be sure to stay with us after the game for complete post-game coverage. Down here in the dugout, we'll try to grab the guys, Jeff Jenkins, Billy Hall, big hits from those guys tonight. The complete post-game story comes your way right after the game on Brewers Live. But for now, let's see if the Brewers can hang on. 10-3, guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ann. Looking forward to Brewers Live tonight. And a good news story so far here in this opening game at the Metrodome as Ryan Braun rings one down the left field line. Kubel cuts it off. Braun on his way to second. And he is in there with a double. So Braun a two-hit game.
Now this is the other way a manager can save his bullpen for a weekend series, kind of leaving Ortiz out there as a sacrificial lamb tonight. He pitched out of the bullpen earlier this week, 5 innings, and has to go 4 1/3 tonight. And he leads off Ryan Braun with a double down the line. Boy, Ryan Braun's swinging the bat well tonight.
Fielder into left center. Got jammed a little with that one. And an easy play for Kubel. 1 out in the inning. Fielder going up there getting his hacks in. Prince has scored 3 runs in this game, and his 2-run homer in the 7th inning made it 8-3. Now it is 10-3. The Brewers have belted out 14 hits against the Twins. 7 of those against Ortiz. Ned Yost will go to the bench here. Tony Gwynn Jr. will pinch hit for Billy Hall. Good feature on Brewers.com today about Tony Gwynn. And on a Father's Day weekend, Tony and his dad. That's Big T and Little T. Tony Sr. going into the Hall of Fame, the induction ceremony on the 29th of July, and Little T will be there.
Yep.
Ned Yost told him he didn't even have to bring it up. Ned just said, Tony, you're going. It's one thing you have to be at, and he's excused from the ball club that day. And what a moment that's going to be for the Gwynns. Cal Ripken Jr. and Tony Gwynn inducted into Cooperstown.
Now you're hard pressed to get to Cooperstown, New York in one day. That's a tough trip. You fly into what? Albany? How do they say?
Yeah, that's good.
And then you got to. Thanks for your help.
It's east of Milwaukee.
East of Milwaukee. Yep. About
it's a
3
3-day stay, when you go to Cooperstown.
Minimum
during that time.
And it's a long drive. I mean, there's not a whole lot of public transportation from Albany to Cooperstown.
Wynn strikes out. And 2 gone in the inning. 10-3, the Brewers have the lead on 14 hits. And now 2 gone with a runner at first for Johnny Estrada.
You ever been to Cooperstown?
I never have.
Oh, gotta go.
Only in my mind.
Baseball fan. If you're a baseball fan, you have to go to Cooperstown.
Estrada with a base hit to left field. Ryan Braun's going to try to score. Kubel's throw is off the mark. And Estrada with an RBI hit. Braun comes in to score the 11th Brewer run. It's a very interesting send to home for Nick Leyva. It was almost like a quiet point.
And Ryan Braun slowed down, and had it not been such a terrible throw from left field, he would have been an out. But the throw not even close. Ryan Braun slows down at third base and then turns it on, but that not even close to home plate, and rattles around the backstop, and Johnny Estrada gets to second base. That'll be a base hit, an RBI, and an error on Kubel to allow Johnny to get to second base.
Third hit of the game for the Brewer catcher as Jenkins rolls one to the right side, and that will do it. So Milwaukee putting some more runs on the board. 11-3 is our score.
Working hard, I see.
Yeah, keeping the old ticker happy.
That's not what your file says.
Huh?
You've got periodontal disease.
Periodontal? I'm worried about my heart, not my gums. Who are you?
I'm a dentist. Picture this. Periodontal disease, bacteria, bloodstream, heart attack.
Studies show periodontal disease increases heart disease risk. See your dentist for a healthy mouth and body.
Brush and floss, or else.
Prepare yourself for an event so big, we couldn't fit it inside. Welcome to Nissan's tent event. Get great deals like a 229 lease or 0.7% financing on the Nissan Altima, or a 159 lease or 0.7% financing on the Nissan Sentra. Get to Nissan's tent event today for great deals on every new Nissan. But remember, the tents come down July 2nd. Get there now.
I am your idea. Color me. Get me noticed. Make me shout. And stand out. Give me Rico color that always works. I am your idea. Make me brighter. Make me shine. I am your idea. Get me in there. Make it happen. In flying colors. It's you and me, and here we go. With Rico.
Jim Scaling in that Brewers dugout. He's checking his glasses, making sure he saw that right. That's 15 hits on the board tonight for the Brew Crew.
These things working? I mean, when you look at Jim Scaling, you can't tell if the Brewers are getting no hit in the ninth or they're up by 8 runs in the ninth.
22 hits on Sunday, 0 hits on Tuesday, and then 11 hits, followed by 13 hits yesterday, and now the Brewers have tacked on 15 against the Twins. Ben Sheets the winner yesterday. It'll be Dave Bush tomorrow.
And Dave Bush, they can save some of those for me.
Former Brewer Jeff Cirillo stepping in against Brian Schaus, who incidentally, if he can get through this inning, would earn a save.
Yes, he will.
He has retired 6 in a row.
Yep, pitched the final 3 innings and you get a save. It doesn't matter what the score is.
To the right side, another ground ball, and Counsell takes care of him. That is 6 straight ground ball outs for Schaus. 7 in a row. There's the matchup tomorrow. Dave Bush against Boop Bonser, who is stuck at 2 the Brewers last time out. He struck out 11 in 7 innings.
Yeah, Dave Bush could use a good outing tomorrow. He's had his struggles. He's pitched well at times, but has had bad luck. But he needs to pitch better tomorrow.
One man out in the ninth as Brian Schaus trying to go the final 3 innings in this one. Lou Ford batting for Torrey Hunter. Twins came into this game having won 8 of 10 here at home and 4 straight, including that sweep of the Atlanta Braves. This homestand started for the Twins with 2 losses against the Nationals, and then they beat Washington the final game of that series, and then 3 in a row against Atlanta. Last time these 2 teams matched up, both teams were struggling a little bit. Remember, the Twins had dropped 3 straight.
Yeah.
Another ground ball back to the mound, and Schaus takes care of this one.
Right.
He has assisted 4 ground balls, and 4 of the last 5 ground balls he's been a part of. That's worth something, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's got good movement on that fastball. Twins are going up there trying to pull it.
8 straight retired by Schaus. And if you'd have told Ned Yost you can get through this game using only 2 pitchers, he would have been ecstatic.
Yeah, and a win.
And a win. Vargas goes 6. Schaus trying to go the last 3.
And this is good for Brian Schaus. As you remember, when last time he struggled, he hadn't pitched for a while. He needs to be out there. This might be just what he needed.
By far Schaus's longest outing of the year. Schaus coming over to the Brewers last year from the Rangers. And a line shot, and that is your ball game. Brian Schaus, 3 scoreless innings to earn the save. And the Brewers win the opener 11-3 over the Minnesota Twins. Vargas picks up the win, goes to 5-1. And our Dodge player of the game, Jeff Jenkins, that big grand slam in the 4th.
Yeah, Jeff Jenkins actually picked up the Brewers big time with that salami. It was 1 out with the bases loaded, and he hit it a ton to right. He also added 2 other base hits and was a catalyst to this offense here tonight.
Now Claudio Vargas and Brian Schaus combined to go deep into this one. And Schaus, how about Brian with a 3-inning save here tonight?
Yeah, just what you needed. That bullpen had been taxed quite a bit because of the beginning of this road trip, but you know, Claudio Vargas outstanding, throwing strikes. He got Ned Yost exactly what he needed, and because the offense was able to tack on so many runs late, he was able to use Schaus for 3 to pick up the save, resting everybody else.
All right, it's time now for Brewers Live. We check in on our set here in Minneapolis with Craig Cashon and Dan O'Brien. Take it away, guys.
All right, Brian and Bill, thanks very much. Big win for the Brewers here to start out this weekend road trip here in Minnesota. Place, Dan, the Brewers did not win at all last year. They were swept by the Twins, but we talked about the homegrown talent on our Brewers Live pregame show, and some of that talent coming through in Jenks, Fielder, and Hall tonight.
Yeah, those 3 guys really had an outstanding evening, and when you look at the game, I would have to say Billy Hall's 2-out double to drive in 2 when they intentionally walked Mr. Fielder probably was the biggest hit of the game.
And how about Brian Schaus? You talk about a guy that the pickup a year ago, late 30-year-old, really doing the job here, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
Well, the big thing is he saved us that evening in terms of the bullpen. It's funny, I was talking to Brian before the game, and he said, all I need to do is get ground balls. If I do that, I'll get outs, and tonight he demonstrated that.
Boy, he sure did. Wow, what an effort by Brian Schaus, really helping out a thin bullpen here to start out this series. Brewers win at 11-3, so Brian Schaus, who likes to be called S-House, picking up his first save of the season. Plenty more coming up on Brewers Live. We'll hear from that winning clubhouse.
Brewers Live, next on FSN Wisconsin.
In the entire universe, there is only one place where you can find a game like this. Introducing the Milwaukee Brewers scratch game from the Wisconsin Lottery. This $5 ticket has a chance to instantly win your choice of 4 Brewers dream prizes, like opening day tickets for life or a trip to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. It's a whole new way to play ball.
Today we're showing you how to deal with sexual harassment in the workplace. When wearing a Hager suit-up system, you gotta be prepared for that kind of thing.
They're made right, so you can get the pants and jacket that fit you best right off the rack. Ladies, your advances are not appreciated.
Let's think about something more pleasant for a minute.
Good idea. How about this? Hager clothes are guaranteed for life.
Oh.
Did you see that?
My friend is not your sexual plaything. Totally unprofessional.
Till next time, we'll be right here, making things right.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Chili's.
Hey, how are you?
Savor the sizzle with Chili's new Fajita Trio. Enjoy 3 tempting tastes all on one plate. Marinated steak, tender chicken, and flame-kissed shrimp. Get a triple shot of sizzle with the new Fajita Trio and get moving to Chili's today.
What does it take to earn AMCI's best-in-class certification for combined acceleration and braking? Capability. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months or $2,000 customer cash on a new Tundra. The truck that's changing it all. Now at your Toyota dealer.
FSN Wisconsin, one of the big hits of the night. Jeff Jenkins, a grand slam home run in the 4th inning. Just part of a big 11-run, 15-hit attack by the Brewers as they win the opening game here of an interleague series against their border battle rivals, the Minnesota Twins. And what a win. 11-3 is the final score. Alongside Brewers assistant GM Dan O'Brien, who's pinch hitting for us all weekend here on Brewers Live. I'm Craig Kushan. Great to have you on board. And let's talk a little bit more about Jenks stepping forward, his 4th career grand slam home run in his 10-year Brewer career, and none of them can come at a better time, but 1 swing of the bat and 4 runs for Jenks.
Well, that's what you need from veteran leadership on your ball club. You know the young kids are going to have their ups and downs, but the veterans have to carry us, and Jenks had the big hit tonight.
Yep, he certainly did, and he is standing by, one of the heroes of the game, with our Ann Carroll.
All right, thanks very much, Jeff Jenkins. Grand slam number 4. You certainly are seeing the ball well on this road trip. You had that home run on Sunday. Feeling good right now at the plate?
Well, you know, it was nice for the whole offense to kind of break out today and get a lot of runs and kind of make it easy on the pitching staff. And, you know, it's just fun when you get runs. So, obviously, good time.
Absolutely. 10 years in the big leagues, 4 grand slams. That's not a whole lot of grand slams. What's the approach at the plate when the bases are loaded? Are you thinking grand slam to get 4 runs in at that time, or just basically make contact?
No, you can never think that. That's, if you start doing that, that's the time you roll over or you start missing pitches. So I think it's just try to same approach. Just try to get a good pitch to hit, and you know, hopefully you drive it.
Yeah, you drove that one. Obviously, though, 3 wins in a row. You guys come off that no-hitter, and you're really starting to get things clicking offensively.
Yeah, I mean, Verlander, that was just one of those days where you got to tip your cap. He was unbelievable. 102 miles. What are you going to do? So, but nice for us to rally and obviously get a couple wins there and take it here into Minnesota.
Pretty good formula. You get the hits, you get the good starting pitching. You certainly needed that start from Vargas tonight, and then Brian Schaus comes in and finishes it out.
Yeah, he pitched and played defense. He did it all. So obviously nice for Schaus to get in there and do a great job. But you know, Vargas set the tone, throwing strikes, doing a great job.
All right, Jeff Jenkins, thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys, let's go back over to you.
All right, and here's a look at the Brewers Grand Slams this season. Bill Hall did it at Cincinnati on April 16th on Todd Coffey. And then May 12th, J.J. Hardy does it against the New York Mets in a win. And you get the theme. You got to be on the road, you hit a Grand Slam, and you get a win, Dan. It's that simple.
That's a nice formula if we can keep it going the whole year.
You just have to draft guys like that, don't you?
Well, it's not quite that simple.
I did not think so. Well, it's a big night offensively for Milwaukee. Just about everyone contributing up and down this lineup right now. And calling the action tonight, Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, they're standing by as well in our FSN Wisconsin broadcast booth here at the Metrodome. And boy, what a night for Milwaukee to carry on this winning streak here on the road. Now it's reached 3.
Absolutely, and now the Brewers, you talk about that no-hitter, Justin Verlander. Since then, the Brewers have averaged 11 hits per game since that no-hitter.
Yeah, it shows the resiliency of this ball club. Everybody talking about the fact that they went to a stretch where they lost 20 out of 30. What is the mentality of these guys? Does it get to them? What could be worse than getting no hit? But they bounced back. They won 3 in a row. They're averaging 13 hits, as you mentioned. I mean, this is a group that really doesn't seem to let anything bother them. Good stuff, they let it roll right off their back. Bad stuff happens to them. It really doesn't bother them too much. They just go out and play baseball every day. They're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Brewers have now won 4 out of 5. I thought a key at-bat, obviously Jenkins' grand slam was big, but Bill Hall's 2-out, 2 RBI double significant as well, not just for the ball club, but for Bill Hall himself.
He's continued to put some pretty good at-bats together on this road trip. I mean, he's driven in 7 runs. He's swinging the bat. He's getting his walks. And, you know, when Bill Hall is able to stay on the baseball and foul pitches off and hit balls to right field, he's going to get pitches to pull. You know, he got a pitch, a slider that was the middle part of the plate there with the runners at first and third and 2 outs, and he ripped it down the line. So he's starting to get a little bit more consistent. He's starting to get that continuity at the plate, that swagger a little bit that we remember from Bill Hall last year, and he's starting to be one of the productive guys again. It's good to see from to the gap and on second base with nobody out in his 20th double this year. Well, Steven Randolph got battered around, as we mentioned, his last time out. 5 runs on 4 hits, 4 walks on June 22nd at Texas, and having a rough start to this inning.
Back-to-back hits, and now Johnny Estrada trying to add to the lead. A fielder with home run number 27 of the year, leads the National League, and his 62nd run batted in. Sperling joins Cordero. Right now it's a 3-run game and still a save situation. Interesting note for the Brewers, and speaking of Cordero, who has 27 saves, no team has ever had a 30 home run performance from a hitter and a 30 save performance from a pitcher before the All-Star break. Got to go back to 92 to find the closest, when Eckersley and McGuire almost combined for that trick.
Hey, that's a pretty good start for both of them, huh? Both of them knocking on the door, and they both conceivably can get it without much trouble.
Still a lot of games to play. The Brewers have 11 more games after tonight before the All-Star break. And Fielder needs 3 home runs. Cordero needs 3 saves.
And go cast a vote while you're watching tonight.
You can vote for Prince online at Brewers.com until the 28th. The National League leader at first base.
Hey fans, speaking of that, Prince Fielder's taking a very narrow lead over Albert Pujols in the voting for this year's All-Star game. You can still vote for Prince and his teammates at Brewers.com and win fabulous prizes. It's time to vote Prince and time to vote Brewers.
Well, the Brewers have scored many of their runs and much of their offense without Fielder during this homestand. His last home run, as we mentioned, was last Monday, when he hit one off Noah Lowry, and that's a good sign. And now that Fielder has the home run stroke back, the Brewers offense still on go here at Miller Park. 7 hits and 4 runs. And Estrada, that's a fair ball down the left field line. Billy Hall will score. Johnny on his way to second. And he's in there with an RBI double. And it's 5-1 Milwaukee.
Well, Steven Randolph really having his problems. He tried to come in on Johnny that time and didn't get it in far enough. Not much on that pitch on the inner half, and Johnny able to muscle it down the line just inside that chalk line for an RBI double for Johnny Estrada. So the Brewers not only get their 3-run lead, they've got a 4-run lead, and that'll sit down Francisco Cordero. Well, at least it'll make him lean against the wall.
And put his glove down. Jeff Jenkins trying to keep it going here. Still nobody out. Well, you can see why Phil Garner was hesitant to take Jennings out of the game. A beleaguered bullpen here in Houston. They had 3 relievers pitch last night. That long extra inning game last night in Texas, in Arlington. That one is ripped to right. And it is over the head of Berkman. Johnny Estrada, as Jenkins slides into second base. Johnny thought it bounced out. He thought it was a grounds rule double and stopped running.
I don't think Jenkins realizes that Johnny Estrada's at third base. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Nick Labor doesn't like that. It doesn't matter what the score is, and Jeff Jenkins should have had an RBI. Now, he ripped that one over the head of Lance Berkman, and even if Johnny's tagging up, he should have been able to score once that ball got over his head. As it stands, Johnny at third on the double from Jeff Jenkins, and he started at second base.
Johnny looked back. I think he thought it was either gone or it bounced out.
He never saw it. He never saw where it was. In that situation, you have to look at the third base coach, not turn around.
So 3 straight doubles after the home run by Fielder. Unfortunately for Jenkins, Estrada unable to score. So Steven Randolph has come on and has not been able to record an out, and some very hard hit balls. Second and third, nobody out, and Craig Counsell batting.
You know, sometimes the joke is when there's a catcher at second base, you know, you might say from the dugout, it's going to take a double to score him. Took more than that to score him. But Johnny never saw that baseball. I don't think he ever saw it off the bat.
Now, you know, Johnny feels bad about it. He'll probably go right to Jenkins after this inning and apologize.
Sure he will.
That's the way this team is, though. They're good that way.
I don't think Jeff's worried too much about it, to be honest.
Nah. What he is excited about is that he hit the hardest ball he has had in a couple of days. That ball was ripped. Counsell into right field. This one is hooking foul.
Every position player from Milwaukee has a base hit tonight.
And the pinch hitter, Gabe Gross, drew a walk. So he reached base as well.
Talk about a well spread out offense, huh? The only guy with multiple hits tonight is Ryan Braun.
And you think about the flow of this game, and remember Braun stranding the bases loaded with that ground out, and then Turnbow coming on for the 8th. First man reaches the tying run to the plate. You got Berkman, Carlos Lee, and Mike Lamb to deal with. And the turning point of this ball game right there, as Derek Turnbow gets out of the inning. Has to get 4 outs. He had struck out Pence, and then Pence reached on the wild pitch, so had to essentially get 4 outs in the inning, and goes through the heart of the Astros order. Two and two the count on Craig Counsell. Still nobody out in the Brewer 8th inning. 2 runs are in, and it's 5-1. And Counsell strikes out. One gone. Randolph, another Texas guy on this team. He's from the Houston area, and he is going to be gone as Garner takes the trip to the mound, and it'll be Borkowski to come on to pitch for Houston. Pitching change at Miller Park. The Brewers threatened with 2 on and 1 out.
She can be warm. You can be cool.
Oh, the band marched on information.
Even if you don't happen to be, you know, cool. When you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
What can you sell inside carsoup.com? Cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, RVs, ATVs, campers, personal watercraft. Just about anything that moves for only $25 till it sells. And it'll sell fast. Inside the carsoup.com super shopping center, thousands of local shoppers see your ad, and in a click, for sale turns to sold. So what can you sell inside carsoup.com? Just about anything with horsepower. Nice try. Buy, research, sell. carsoup.com.
They fly everywhere I want to go and everywhere I need to be.
I think I'm one of the few people out there who always looks forward to flying. I know it's just an airline, but from my very first flight, it's felt like my airline.
Midwest Airlines. Simply the best care in the air.
Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on FSN Wisconsin is presented by your local Toyota dealer, moving you forward. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club.
Okay.
Dave Borkowski on to pitch for the Astros.
For the 26th time this year. Your turn.
I cut you off.
That's okay.
You had something smart to say.
No.
Tony Graffinino will pinch hit for Turnbow, and he rips one into right center. Hunter Pence, a long run, and he will run it down, but it'll get a run home. Johnny's going to score, and it's 6-1 Brewers.
Well, if he didn't score on that, there might have been an investigation somewhere. That was almost out of here for a grand slam. Actually, no, a 3-run homer. They made it.
Sacrifice fly and an RBI from Tony Graffinino. And now Corey Hart with 2 outs and a runner at third, and Hart takes a strike. Corey has a base hit in this game. He extended his hit streak to 12. He drove in a run in the third, but he has struck out 3 times. Everybody who has played in this game, and even Ben Sheets, has had some success at the plate, whether it be a hit, in Sheets' case, a sac bunt. Gross drew the walk as a pinch hitter, and then Graffinino a sac fly and an RBI. I mean, that is balance.
That's what they've been doing. I mean, a little bit of a hiccup yesterday. Not sure. Maybe.
Hart retired for the final out. This inning started with a Prince Fielder home run to deep center field. His National League leading 27th of the year.
Brewers. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 on FSN Wisconsin.
The curveball will spin up to 30 times a second and break as much as 17 inches. Watch every pitch in clear Panasonic motion. Panasonic Plasma for the speed of sports. Panasonic, ideas for life.
Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
This week on the IFL, Ken Yasuda and his undefeated Tokyo Sabres look to slam the hard-hitting Portland Wolfpack. The International Fight League, Friday on FSN.
6-1, the Brewers lead the Astros, and Ben Sheets and his bullpen 3 outs away from number 9 of the year. Victory number 9 for Sheets. Chris Sperling is on to work. 24th appearance of the season.
Sperling picked up came in the middle of the 11th inning in yesterday's ball game. He's 1-1. His loss was in Minnesota. He gave up that extra inning home run. I should say the bottom of the 9th home run to Justin Morneau, and with a 5-run lead, Ned Yost hoping that Sperling can get the Astros 3 up and 3 down. Hoping not to have to use Francisco Cordero tonight.
So Sperling back out on the mound. And you know he was rooting for the Brewers to score some runs in that 8th inning. Just like Turnbow, you like to get back on the mound after a disappointing outing. And that was it for Turnbow. He came into a bad spot, though. He came in with the bases loaded yesterday. But it was a bases loaded walk that put the Royals ahead, and Kansas City won. And now Sperling against Chris Burke. Long run for Counsell, and he runs it down for the out.
Guy covers some ground, doesn't he? Corey Hart playing relatively deep in right field, and Craig had to go a long way to make that catch.
Counsell still without an error this year.
And Corey Hart coming on. He's calling it, but I don't think anybody hears him. Craig doesn't. And he's able to haul it in. They're lucky they didn't collide.
Eric Munson. That's going to be interesting to see how the Astros come to the park tomorrow. And as you mentioned, after that late night, the second day is sometimes the difficult day. Counsell calling off Fielder. Nice and loud.
Yeah, just ask the Brewers. When they had that long night going from Texas to Detroit, they had an off day, and then the following day, everybody knows what happened on that day, the no-hitter.
Chris Sperling 2 up 2 down and an out away from securing win number 9 for Ben Sheets. 6-1 Brewers. They score 3 runs in the 8th inning after Turnbow got through the 8th scoreless with the tying run at the plate. That was the turning point of the ball game right there. The Brewers sitting on that 2-run lead, but the Astros had Berkman and Lee at the plate representing the tying run in that 8th. And Turnbow got through it. Orlando Palmeiro pinch hitting for the Astros. One ball, one strike on Palmeiro. 1-2 the count. Cardinals lost to the Mets 2-1. Brewers open the day with a 7.5 game lead over the Cubs. And an 8.5 game lead over the Cardinals.
And the Cubs are winning tonight, and the Cardinals are tied. They're going to extra innings.
Sperling 1 strike away from putting this one in the books. And Palmeiro lines one right back up the middle. That almost took the cap off of Chris Sperling. Palmeiro whistles one into the outfield.